Let's go to the NBA. Boston is struggling.
What, Joe Namath?
They have lost, Rob. Look, they're 15-17.
Struggling.
But that ain't the worst of it. They've lost 7 of their last 20. Or no, they've gone 7-14 in their last 21 games. And, Rob, they got 2 All-Stars. 2 guys that are going to play an All-Star game. And to be honest, I think they deserve it. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And so so we got some sound here of, is this Danny Ainge? Oh, this is their president, Wick Grossbeck. Ridiculous statement. I know Wick, but this is ludicrous.
Ridiculous.
Here he is.
Well, I would say I am disappointed, but I would also say that in those 4 years, we've been to the conference finals 3 times. So it hasn't been a wasteland. It just hasn't gotten all the way. It's been to the Final Four. We're not hanging any Final Four banners, but we've been to the conference finals, I think it's 3 times in the last 4 years. So we've been a very good competitive team. But, we had hoped Kyrie would stay forever and lead us all the way. He's on maybe the best team in the league right now. And so that's that. And that change touched off a lot of stuff. Because he left, we weren't able to maybe recruit free agents in the same way, and a bit of a domino effect, but it is what it is. We went for it with Kyrie. We had a good year with him. He tried hard, and then he moved on.
My issue is not to him saying they've been to 3 conference finals in 4 years, which is they have, and that's good. They haven't been a total waste by any stretch. My issue is bringing up Kyrie as if he's the reason that things have fallen off this year. Heck, the 1 year they didn't get to the conference finals, Rob, was with Kyrie. And when he left, that wasn't viewed as that much of a negative because they ultimately
looked at
brought
as a positive.
in.
Let's
Right.
call it like it is. That's what people were. They were happy. Good
and
riddance.
they did what they brought in Kemba Walker, and it was working. And now Kemba, he's having the knee issue, so he looks like he might be damaged goods. But that's, to me, Rob, Kyrie has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on now. If you want to say, had Kyrie gone there, fit in with everybody, he and Stevens got along, everything was great, that we think we'd be a championship team, okay, that's fine. But they had moved on from Kyrie and everything was fine last year. This year, this has nothing to do with Kyrie Irving.
No. And it has a lot to do with Danny Ainge. Remember they had the $1 million first-round picks? Oh, they got the Celtics. Danny Ainge just stockpiled all these first-round picks. He's
that gets
unbelievable.
the analytics writers excited. You know
exactly. About all these first-round picks that haven't really amounted to anything. The other thing is, so Brad Stevens, they gave him a lot of job security. Chris, you've mentioned it before. Other coaches were like, dude, really? Like, we're in this league. We've been coaching. They don't have this kind of security. Got a 6-year deal right out of Butler. It's not like you won the if it was he was a mid-major, Chris, and won the national championship. All right, now let's talk. Right now, but they never won anything.
Right.
And now he's in Boston, and I think it's dubious now getting to the conference finals 3 out of 4, not punching your ticket once. Like, can he get it over the hump? This might be a team, Chris, where you might have to go get somebody. And I saw it in Detroit. Pistons were good with Rick Carlisle, Chris, and they went out and got Larry Brown. And what happened? They went to the finals 2 years in a row.
Right. And similar to, Carlisle, very tactical.
Right, but he was young. He was just
Stevens.
getting right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he couldn't get there because Rick got there and won a championship. But you might need to do something like that because not getting there, 3 out of 4 is just, it becomes like, after a while, like, can he get over the hump?
Well, I agree. Like, he's a good coach. I don't think anybody's going to say Brad
I'm not
Stevens
saying he's not a good coach.
Right, right. But the question, Rob, I think, is can he handle Ferraris? He can handle the Honda Accords, and he'll make your Honda Accord look great. At Butler, you're not getting blue chippers, right? You're not getting guys you got to deal with egos, guys that are going to the league. You know what I mean? Guys that are one and done. You're not getting that at Butler. And early on, that's what he had in Boston. And then he gets his first Ferrari. It's Kyrie Irving. And he can't handle him. I'm not saying Kyrie was blameless, but it didn't work out. All right? And now you've got a couple guys who've developed into Ferraris. And you would think it would work better with them because he knows them from day one when they got into the NBA, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But I don't know. Is that an issue? Rob, there are coaches in this league that maximize so-so talent. You know what I mean? They don't have much talent. They get their guys to play hard. They run the offense. They play hard for 48 minutes, 82 games a year, and they go 42-40, and everybody's like, oh, my gosh, this guy is great. This guy can coach, right? Then you give him some major league talent,
and it doesn't
and he
work out.
overcoaches. Right, he can't. He's overcoaching too much. He won't let them just do their thing. And I'm not saying Stevens is that type of guy, but that's the question that's out there. Because he hasn't gotten them over the hump. He couldn't get along with Kyrie. And so it's just something to watch. I think Brad Stevens has earned the leeway, the rope to let him play through this, coach through this. But it's just something you need to watch because ultimately, if you can't get me over the hump, Rob, then you can't be my coach.
No, because
right?
eventually you have to get there. You know,
right.
like being close and all that. That after a while, it's like, when is he going to win that big game?
Right.
For us? And
right.
that just hasn't happened.
The Celtics got problems, folks. And who's to blame? Your turn to give us your opinion.
Yep. Here we go. Let's kick it off with Ellis in Louisville. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah, I think it's the fault of these general managers like Ainge and these coaches who want these great white hopes so bad, like Pritchard and Tice and Gordon Hayward, that they mess up their teams by giving these guys too much playing time.
Well, Hayward, I think the loss of Hayward has actually hurt him. Now, you're right, they overpaid him. There's no doubt about that.
And in Boston,
I don't think
he just wasn't available. Let's just be honest.
He was hurt a lot.
He was in the way because he thought he was too good, but he wasn't better than Brown or Tatum.
He wasn't better than Brown, and I think he kind of knew that. But they were pretty good last year. Like I said, they've struggled more without him.
But like Larry Bird, look at Larry Bird's whole bench is a bunch of white guys nobody wanted. They have to get over this great white hole.
Yo, hold on. You can't rip that team. They won 3 championships. I mean, how you gonna rip the Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, all those guys? They won.
No, I'm talking about the team he's got now. He's a general manager.
Oh, well, Bird's retired.
Well,
Bird was in
Indiana.
Indiana. He hasn't been there for years now. Yeah. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Let's go to Andre in Massachusetts. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Andre?
How you guys doing? Good evening. Thanks for taking the call. Listen, the blame has to fall on Brad Stevens at this point in time because of his inability. Not only it's not necessarily connecting with Jalen and Jason, because those guys, they bought in. They're about the process. They're about working hard. He hasn't developed his role players. He hasn't developed the rookies in the same way that Doc Rivers did when he was winning championships. The point of fact is this, in my view, Brad Stevens and Danny Ainge are very much like Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley in that Brad Stevens signed a 12-year extension at Butler through 2022 after taking them to 2 straight NCAA championships. So Danny Ainge had to go above and beyond to get him out of that contract, to bring him to Boston, as you've noted, giving him this 6-year deal, all of this.
He wasn't making that at Butler. I'm sorry. You know what? How much money was he making coaching Butler? They didn't have to do that. I mean, I think he went overboard. I really do on the contract, Andre. I don't know what his contract was, but it wasn't what he was making NBA money.
No, I'm just saying, Danny Ainge showed from Jump Street that he was tied to Brad Stevens at the hip. So I don't see any scenario where he's going to criticize Brad Stevens. At the end of the day, they're both to blame is my overarching argument. And
if you had to pick one, give me one, though. Come on, we want you to pick one. Who are you picking?
Brad Stevens, his rotations, and his inability to develop the young players. Thank you for the time.
Okay,
all
appreciate
right.
It. Right, Chris, we can't do both. We can't do both. Pick
Ainge. Rob, if Kevin McHale, his boy, hadn't helped him out with that trade, sending Garnett there, Ainge might he'd be gone by now, I would think,
Yep.
if he didn't win that champ, you know?
And then
he broke
Mikal
up
got
that
the
team
assist.
prematurely.
There's no doubt about it. Yep. No doubt.
You know, he broke that team up prematurely by trading Kendrick Perkins.
Let's
you know,
squeeze in one more.
Yeah. So
Marley in Maine, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Marley?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I feel like
Yes,
the
sir.
blame has to fall on the front office and the location, because if you look at it, nobody really, the destination in Boston, no big time free agents wants to be in Boston, because if you look at it, a lot of them either got traded or they drafted big time names. So I feel like when they got Kyrie Irving, they're kind of thinking they are going to get more free agents, more big time names to come with Kyrie Irving. But when he left and that didn't work out, they kind of, went back to like square one, where they couldn't get more people to come there. So
I think Garnett, Pierce, and Ray Allen, Rob, I think that group did a lot for Boston's image as among players, among black players. Let's just keep it real. Like Garnett loved Boston. And I don't, obviously Boston has a reputation as a city, but I don't know. I think some guys would go there, but they haven't gotten a lot of guys in free agency. That's for darn sure.